Morning! Last week we talked about Jesus the Redeemer being fully human and fully God at the same time. This week our question is question 22. Why must the Redeemer be fully human? Couldn't he just be fully God? Would that have worked? No. But in human nature, he might, on our behalf, perfectly obey the whole law and suffer the punishment for human sin. This is a picture of me as a baby, only a few years ago, and I've been growing up ever since. You are born here in this earth and have been growing up and been loved by your families and cared for. And in the Bible we can read about how Jesus was born as well. And his mum was Mary, and he grew up and he became a man, and we can read all about his life in the Bible. We can read that he wept, we can read that he became thirsty and at times hungry, and many more. We read that Jesus experienced human things like we do. However, there was a huge difference between us and Jesus. What is that huge difference, do you think? The huge difference between us and Jesus? Well, Jesus is sinless. We are sinful, but he is sinless. Why must the Redeemer be truly human? That in human nature he might on our behalf perfectly obey the whole law and suffer the punishment for our human sin. Perfectly obey the whole law. We find that really hard, and that's because our hearts are sinful since the fall. But Jesus has obeyed the laws perfectly. That doesn't mean he wasn't tempted. He was a human and lived on this earth too, but he resisted. He was perfect. He was the perfect human. And it's important that he was a human because he exchanged and swapped his perfect life for our sinful life. He swapped and exchanged his life for ours so that we can know Jesus. The punishment that we deserve for being sinful, Jesus took. Jesus took that sin. And so now we can be sinless in the eyes of God if we believe in him. It is really important that Jesus was a human. He was sinless so that he could swap his sinless life for our sinful life. Why must the Redeemer be truly human? That in human nature he might, on our behalf, perfectly obey the whole law and suffer the punishment for human sin.